So here's the deal. The nation's poorest state used welfare money to pay Brett Favre for speeches he never made. The state auditor says $70 million in federal welfare funds went to Favre, a volleyball complex, and a former pro wrestler in a scandal that has rocked Mississippi. If you go to Jackson, Mississippi has been begging for funds, few $1 million, decade after decade. They can't get clean water. They cannot get clean water in Jackson, Mississippi, the largest city in Mississippi. There are pictures on the internet where the governor of Mississippi has a big, shiny tanker truck with fresh water in front of his mansion in Jackson, Mississippi, while the people in Jackson, Mississippi don't have clean water. That is what we call MAGA Republican policies. The mayor of Jackson has been begging. The infrastructure in Jackson has been crumbling. All you people who moved out of Jackson with white flight, he's been begging. All these people left Jackson, right, to live in the suburbs. Suburbs that have new water plants subsidized by all these people in Jackson. Because all the corporations, the major corporations, and all these guys are stationed in the state capital, Jackson, Mississippi. But they don't have clean drinking water. And the restaurants out there are having to buy their water and at the same time having to pay for the water, the dirty water that comes through the taps. Mississippi, MAGA Republican policies. From a third world country, you don't see that. I've been to Costa Rica. I've been to Guatemala. I've been to El Salvador. I live in Panama. I'm born in Panama. Been to Jamaica. Been to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Been to Mexico. You remember, in Mexico, you couldn't, they would tell you, Montezuma's revenge. Don't drink the water. And guess what? You can't go to Jackson, Mississippi and drink the water. It won't give you Montezuma revenge. It'll kill you. Here in the United States of America, this exceptional country, you can't drink the water in many of its cities. And you know, there's something familiar with the looks of all those cities where you can't drink the water. What's that city in Michigan again? Can't drink the water because they decided the clean, clear lake, Michigan, was not good enough for it. Was too good for its people. So they made you drink out of the Detroit River, polluted with all kinds of lead, etc. What's going on here? And now we find out that $70 million that should have gone to the Flint, Michigan. Thank you, Alistair Waters. $70 million that should have gone to the people most in need because of a state that doesn't take care of its people, because of a state whose policies are based on a type of arcaneness that kills. And who takes the money that all of us that pay a lot of taxes, that money came from the federal government. And what did the MAGA Republicans do in Mississippi? They stole the money. They stole welfare money. They themselves. You know, they always talk about the rich, the wealthy. Brett Favre, millionaire football player, gets $1 million for doing nothing. And you dare look at those guys in the streets and say, get a job? You didn't earn it? While we have Brett Favre getting $1 million for doing a speech that he never did. Do you guys get the evil within? I want you to think about that, folks. $70 million, and the people who reap the rewards of that $70 million are rich people. I want to put that into some context. Everybody talks about, well, guess what, man? We have these infrastructure projects and all of that kind of stuff. The only reason the portion of the infrastructure remember, the infrastructure bill was divided into two: the human infrastructure and the hardware infrastructure, meaning building roads, etc., and all those good things, right? Check this out, folks. I want you to really understand this. Why did Republicans say it was okay to pass that infrastructure project, but not the human one, the other one because they did exactly what Favre and the other Mississippi Republicans have been doing, stealing. It's the same thing they do in Iraq. Why they like wars? Because you know what? With wars come a lot of welfare money from the government so that they can go and hire a lot of people from third world countries to serve the troops. And as they serve the troops on 5 cents on the dollar, they pocket the rest, the wealthy. Like I've always told you folks, you sit down and think there's something about the wealthy. Most of the wealthy just make great thieves, great thugs in ties. It is so important for you to understand what I'm saying here, folks. It is so important. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.